Quanell X and Big Angry Adams, ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face Off on Fox Soul starts right now.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. And I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in. My dyslexia, I haven't overcome dyslexia. I'm living with it. I was the guy in the back of the classroom and my head down, just praying the teacher didn't call on me.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
Okay, Quanell, that was California governor, former mayor of San Francisco, Gavin Newsom, trying to keep it real with the citizens of Atlanta who had shown up on his book tour event. Gavin likes to paint a portrait of the struggle. He likes to cosplay being a regular middle class or lower middle class American. Not true at all, right? Grew up with wealth, adjacent to great wealth, very connected, very powerful family. All of that completely contrived. Now, these comments are being framed, like let's read what Newsweek says. President Donald Trump's MAGA supporters and other conservatives have attacked California Governor Gavin Newsom over remarks he made during a stop on his book tour. And they're framing it in a way as, it's echoed throughout the media that seems to constantly regurgitate itself. They're framing it as the only people that are offended by Governor Newsom's remarks are political antagonists to Governor Newsom. I, who am not a Republican, have always been just offended by the steady tide of BS coming out of Gavin Newsom's mouth. He obviously ran San Francisco, a beautiful city, into the dirt, allowed the unhoused to take it over and the crime to run rampant. And then as a result of doing such a horrible job, he got promoted to the governor of California. We have seen a mass exodus from both California and New York. I just read an article this weekend that now Texas has more people in the financial industry than New York City does. We saw even Mark Zuckerberg, who famously his wife funded support for greater liberalism, and it's not even liberalism, I consider myself a liberal, far left progressivism in California, and then her husband pulled up stakes and Mark Zuckerberg moved his residence to Florida, as we've seen a number of powerful rich people do to flee taxation and just the incredible regulatory oppression, crime, and the just horrible quality of life. Every time you turn around here in Houston or in Austin or Dallas, more people from California who have fled, and they're going to try to California, Texas. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, because it sounded to me, it was overwhelmingly African-American crowd in Atlanta, on stage with African-Americans. It sounded to me that he was suggesting that making a 960, an abysmal score, was somehow the norm for black Americans, and saying, hey, I'm dumb, I'm one of you. It sounded completely racist to me. I am confident, I've never seen your son's scores, but I'm sure your two sons did far better on both the SAT and the ACT than that. They're both brilliant young men who went to top tier schools. I think it's insane, and I think it exposes, like we talked about yesterday, you thought that Tourette's was this man exposing his racism. I disagreed with that. I think very much here, this is exposing this elitist, faux aristocrat, dishonest politician who also stole his wife from his best, or cheated, not his wife, cheated, slept with his best friend's wife, best friend / campaign manager. He's just a horrible human being, and no one wants to talk about it. But I think it exposed Gavin Newsom's racism. I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I really don't care anything about the best friend's wife and Gavin Newsom. That's their personal, private lives. And whatever happens in their bedroom ain't got nothing to do with me.
No, but I'm talking about these comments.
But let me say this. This reminds me of when Hillary Clinton spoke to a crowd of black people. And she said, I'm on CP time, colored people's time, and thought it was funny. This reminds me when Joe Biden had the unmitigated gall.
Time out. I'd just like to say, you're very rarely late.
Let me get finished.
Yeah, I mean.
This reminds me when Joe Biden had the unmitigated gall to tell black people, if you're not black, if you don't vote for me.
Breakfast Club.
Now, you got Mr. Newsom, who decides to say to black people, as a way to connect with us, as a way to go to Black Atlanta and connect with black people, to identify with black people, what would give you the connection as a white man to black people is to speak about our low test scores. To go to black people and say that I had to drop out of so many different schools before I made it, like that's something you can relate to. Let me tell this man something. Mr. Gavin Newsom, you can kiss me where the sun don't shine. And any bootlicking, handkerchief-led Negro leader that wants to be an apologist for this, but call out Donald Trump for being racist, call out Bondi and Hegseth and all the others like him who are racist conservative Republicans, and you should do that. But where's that same energy for a racist, no good, low down bigot cracker like Gavin Newsom? That's exactly what he is. You insulted black people and made us feel little, and to say now my small accomplishments, my small achievements, and my failures and my disappointments is what connects me to you. To hell with that man. And I'm gonna say this to black folk. We can no longer defend white racist liberals who pretend to be our friends to come and get our vote, and we run by the millions to the ballot box and we vote for these white racist liberals only when they get in office to slam the door and pretend like we don't even exist. To hell with that. We must have strong, independent black voices that hold these white liberals to the same standard with the same energy that you hold those white MAGA supporters to. Yes, you should hold MAGA accountable and call them devils out. But what about the devils in the Democratic Party like Mr. Newsom?
I agree with most of what you said, but I will recall that yesterday you said black people aren't allowed to use racial pejoratives, and yet you just called Gavin a cracker.
I spoke the truth.
Okay, it's you being.
Do you know what a cracker is?
Yeah, well, I mean, I eat.
You know where the term came from?
Look,
it came from slaves.
So it's not a racial pejorative?
It came from slaves.
It's not a racial pejorative.
And what the slaves would say when they got out of line on the plantation and they were punished, what happens, they would say, here comes the cracker, because he would take the whip and crack it on the backs of the slaves. That's where the term cracker came from, when the overseer would use the whip to crack on the backs of slaves. And that's what he did. He used his whip politically to crack us in line to support this bullshit.
But you'll agree you used a racial pejorative.
That's not racist.
Okay, so if a white person were to use a racial pejorative and then explain its etymology, you would be okay with it?
I would want the explanation.
Okay, but if they said, okay, I'm just using it because he's one of the bad ones, is that okay?
Well, they wouldn't be lying.
Well, no.
Because there are many good white people in America.
Okay.
But there are a whole lot of bad ones too.
Okay.
And so if a white one uses a racial trope, a word to call out another white one, I don't think I'd really be angry about that.
I don't think you're following. If a good white in your book used a racial pejorative against a bad black, that'd be okay with you?
Hell no.
Because
that's not for them to do.
Oh, okay.
That's not for them to do.
Different rules.
That's not for them to do.
So then why did you yesterday
That is for us to do.
Oh, so then why would
we hold our own accountable?
So you hold your own accountable.
Not to the same standard,
but you also hold white people accountable.
One thing the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan
So we should all just be divided by race, according to Quanell?
One thing Minister Farrakhan taught us.
Is that white people are evil? I mean, if we're going to be honest.
We never turn our people over to the enemies of our people to do it. If we're going to punish them, let that punishment come out of love within their own community, and we deal with our own the correct way.
White people are black people's enemies?
White people like Donald Trump, Pam Bundy, Oh, yes.
Okay.
White people like Mr. Kirk was?
No, I'm just talking about white people generally.
Absolutely. Not all white people, no.
Okay. Not all white people.
Not an enemy of black people.
Okay.
Hell, you want to be black as bad as you can.
Okay, why?
See, I just told the truth. See, now you give us
I
a lie.
I want to be black. That's new.
Show everybody your shoes.
You got
Show
some
everybody your shoes.
You got some Michael Jordans
You
on.
want to be just like Mike.
You got some busted
You want to
dunks.
be just like Mike.
Why don't you pick up your sneaker game
you want to be just
before
like
you
Mike.
look at those old busted dunks you
It
got on.
matches
Come on.
everything
Come
I
on.
got on.
Come on.
It matches everything I got on.
I got Jordan 1 Chicago's. The fact that you even insult those
Because you want to be
me.
black, I know it.
Speaker Mike Johnson has rejected a request on behalf of the family of the late Jesse Jackson for him to lie in honor at the United States Capitol. Speaker Johnson, according to CNN, says that this allowing him to lie in honor inside the Capitol would break with past precedent, where Charlie Kirk was not able to do so, Dick Cheney was not able to do so. He rejected efforts on their behalf as well. But that's not necessarily true, because in the past, civilians have lain in honor in the United States Capitol, including Rosa Parks in 2005 and Billy Graham in 2018. Now, this request was made on behalf of the late Reverend Jesse Jackson, who passed away recently, and while Speaker Johnson has declined the request, so Reverend Jackson will not lie in honor at the Capitol. Now, this comes despite the fact that both Republicans and Democrats honored the late Jesse Jackson following his passing, and still, he will not have this honor.
In this round, here's Quanell X.
Charles, I am not shocked and nor am I surprised that Speaker Mike Johnson denied the family of Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson's request to bestow upon him the honor of lying in state at the nation's capital. Mr. Johnson would not do it, but I'm not Surprise, because he's standing firm and following the spirit of his commander-in-chief. His commander-in-chief didn't like Jesse Jackson. His commander-in-chief has said many horrible things about black people, calling us low IQ people, removing everything of any type of accomplishment in the government halls where it reflects us and what we've contributed to American society. Move it, take it down. The Trump administration, which Mike Johnson supports, just told the Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson's family, you will not get that honor. I'm not shocked, but I would say to black leaders, black activists and black people, it is not the white man's duty in the Trump administration or those who support him to honor our heroes or sheroes. If they allow them to do it, then fine. But if not, don't get angry about this. What kind of home send-off and homegoing can we as a people bestow upon our brother? But it sends a message to activists and leaders. Jesse loved white people as hard as he could. He apologized for damn near everything that was bad coming out of these political houses ran by majority of whites against the interests of black people. Jesse Jackson believed in nonviolence. He believed in if they slapped him on the left, slapped him on the right, give him the left. If they kicked him on the right cheek of his behind, give him the left. This man was the pinnacle for my generation of being as angelic and forgiving in the face of white racism as any other black leader in my lifetime. But for him to be rejected now says a lot to us as black people. Just how far have we come, and just how far backward is this nation going?
I'm not at all shocked that you took this chance to say critical things about Reverend Jackson, because that's you, and you like violence and racism. But there's some things. First of all, it was not the Trump administration that rejected it. It was Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and the House Republicans, but he's the leader of. He also rejected Dick Cheney's family's request and Charlie Kirk's family's request. There was someone on Instagram saying they allowed Charlie, and I pointed out that they were wrong, and they got very upset. The truth is that it's not lie in state. He couldn't lie in state. He wasn't the president. It was lie in honor. There have been some people, rarely, they mentioned Rosa Parks and Billy Graham. It's an incredible rarity. I would put Reverend Jackson up there with Billy Graham as on the same level spiritual leaders, and I would also put Reverend Jackson up there with Rosa Parks on the same level as a civil rights activist. So it seems like he had a 1-2 punch that probably should have justified the honor. There are people that would argue that because Charlie Kirk was assassinated for political speech, that he deserved it. Obviously, people have different feelings. When Charlie Kirk's family was denied, we didn't see all of this very upset stuff. I don't know why Speaker Johnson did it, but Speaker Johnson at least does have a history of denying white people of prominence, Vice President Dick Cheney and Charlie Kirk, as they did with Reverend Jackson. I wish they would have allowed it. They did not. You, like you typically do, used it as an opportunity to demonize white people generally, to lie, which is weird how you attack Trump so much now when he used to love him. But I don't remember Trump saying, as you said a few minutes ago, that, referring to all black people as low IQ people.
Oh, yes, he did.
In what context?
When he would point out certain black individuals in leadership and call them low IQ people.
So an individual.
And he would say low IQ people.
Okay.
And then he would say, and that's another low IQ person. Hold on, let me finish.
Right. Well,
and then when
a
man would call certain people who've made great academic strides and accomplishments within government, they need to be replaced because they're DEI appointments. Bullshit, isn't it? That's an insult to all of us as a people.
But he's never,
and for you to sit there and say that Mike Johnson is not a part of the Trump administration, that's a lie.
Well, no, it's different.
Oh, excuse me. Who's the leader of the House? Mike Johnson. Who's his boss? Trump.
Well,
Secondly, the Republicans in the House. Who they obey?
I
The
don't know
Republicans in the House bow down and follow Trump.
Maybe you skip
and also, no, baby. We all know who all the Republicans and elected officials follow. The Trump administration.
Do you remember
and there's
the
something else
class
you
on
said
checks
too.
and
But there's some ain't no
and
checks
you
for
had
Trump.
The judiciary.
Ain't no Republican checks
and the
for Trump.
legislature and the executive.
Ain't no
and they're all
Republican checks on
independent.
Donald Trump, because if there was,
I'm just
we
pointing
all
out
would see the Epstein
objective
files.
truths.
And
Look,
to
I know
compare
you want to
Charlie
talk
Kirk-
about. I'm not
To
comparing.
compare
it.
Charlie Kirk
I'm
to
saying,
Reverend Jackson
I'm not.
is an insult.
I'm saying that his family
Charlie
made the
Kirk
request
was around
and it
for
was
a few
denied.
years.
Okay.
Reverend Jackson dedicated decades of
I'm
his
not
life
here to-
before I was even born.
I am not
before
here-
you were born.
I am not
to make
here
this nation better.
to-
You can't compare the
I'm
two.
not here to take a stand on any of them. I'm merely pointing out that Speaker Johnson, had denied the Kirk family, had denied Cheney's family.
Because
so when
Trump
you say
hated Cheney.
So when you say it was pure, well, he didn't hate Kirk.
He hated Cheney.
So when you say it's purely just driven, and again, you just conceded you were making stuff up by not conceding, right? Like when I say, like and I don't want to defend Trump, I'm no fan, but when I say
You do a good job
you're
of it.
deeply dishonest, I'm only talking about you and your dishonesty. I'm not talking about black people generally, right?
Oh, you
So
mean
if
like
someone
when Trump
says,
called black countries whole countries?
Okay, well, no, he didn't call black, he called Somalia.
Excuse me.
Somalia.
That's a black country.
I'm not going to curse.
That's a black country.
But Somalia is in fact
And when he
a
would-
crap hole
and-
country.
and in fact-
are you saying it's not?
Excuse me.
Or why do we have all the refugees
Wait a minute.
stealing billions from Somalia if it's not a crap hole
But
country?
it was a white
You
woman
wanna-
that taught him how to do it
No,
in Minnesota.
It was actually
the
probably
ringleader
it
was a white female who was convicted
That's actually
first,
not true,
and
but
she
there
taught
definitely
all
was
the
white people
Somalians
involved.
how to do it.
Okay, there was definitely white people involved. Although she was
Have you heard about the housing fraud in America?
she was married to a Somali.
What about that
but let's
housing
not-
fraud that make their fraud look like child's play?
Absolutely.
And them ain't Somalians doing that.
Absolutely. But let's get back to the original point. Somalia, you don't think it's a crap hole country?
It's a bad country right now, in poor
so,
shape.
So when
Very
Trump
poor shape.
called it a crap hole country, he was just saying that. And I don't want to get into defending Trump, but you lie so much that it puts me in a position where I have to, at least as someone that believes in
Have
the
you
truth.
seen some of
right?
those European countries?
Yes, I've been all over Europe.
Hold on.
There's nothing
you gonna tell
in
me,
Europe. Nothing. The worst country in
and you
Europe
gon- and you-
doesn't compare
and you-
to Somalia.
and you're going to tell
the
me.
very worst
and
country
you're
in
gonna tell
Europe
me-
is incredibly better
one
than
second.
Somalia. They're not even in the same ballpark.
We're talking about a country now to where if you open your mouth and say something which is absolutely believed by millions, you can go to jail for it.
Okay, you're talking about the United Kingdom?
Strip you of your freedom and put you in prison.
The United Kingdom is they've got some free speech issues, but it's a wonderful country.
Hold on, wait.
Where they
We can talk about a few
bastion of
other
so many
things.
things. And if you had to pick where you would live, other the
Excuse
UK
me.
or Somalia, Quana, you're picking the UK.
Let me tell you something,
a
though.
billion times out of a billion.
Let me tell you what.
Because so
let me
you
tell
know,
you-
but you
let me
said
tell
Trump
you-
was lying
let me
about
tell
it.
you- let me
He
tell you what
wasn't
I wouldn't
lying.
pick.
I don't want to be a Trump
me tell you
defender
what I
because I don't
wouldn't
like the guy. But you
Let me tell you
were
what I
just
wouldn't pick.
lying.
Why all you Republicans
I thought it was going to be why all you
are
whites.
not
That's what he's thinking.
are not outraged, and all of you mega supporters who pretend and fake that outrage toward the Epstein files, why you are not holding Mr. Cruz accountable for what came out of his mouth?
Okay, please. Let's talk about an entirely different subject. Go ahead.
Oh, you knew about that?
No, go ahead.
We're going to talk about that one soon.
Okay, so that's called a teaser, folks.
excuse
I don't
me.
know why he's doing it.
You didn't hear about that?
But you'll agree with me.
You didn't hear about that?
You'll agree with me that Donald Trump never referred to black people generally as low IQ people.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Absolutely. On several occasions.
No, he didn't. Right, and I think he probably is a bigot, but he didn't do that. Right, and he referred to Somalia as a S-hole country because it is. Right?
Said the same thing
agree.
about Haiti, too.
Okay, well, Haiti is, right?
But why are they?
Okay, there's many reasons
Let's
to
tell the
blame,
truth about why they
but
are.
I know, somehow it's Whitey's fault.
Oh,
but-
let's tell the truth about why
but
Haiti is in that condition.
How many?
You don't want to talk about that one, do
Are
you?
you aware how many billions has been given to Haiti that has just been squandered by Haitians? I mean, Haiti has received so much money from the United States. It's insane. And none of it has gone to the Haitian people. And instead, we've accepted countless Haitian
But
refugees.
did you see
right?
what white foundations from America were there stealing the money?
Okay.
Hillary Clinton was spearheading it.
Okay. It's somehow.
What about them white foundations
Somehow.
that were in Haiti stealing the money that America was sending?
Everything
And
is
Hillary
still-
Clinton was
it's
the
still
ringleader.
white.